I am in fact very, very pleased to be here. And so I'm going to begin by saying I'm not here to listen to myself at all. I'm here to give you some information that helps you. We give information to you and to the people sitting next to you that's going to be useful to you, not just as you go forward on this ballot measure, but as you work with your family, with your friends, your neighbors, and in the line at the supermarket. Your brain does a really bad thing, from my perspective. Your brain thinks money. Because every day when you hear the term economics or you think about the economy, you think about things that are associated with money. You think about jobs, you think about your income, you think about what you pay at the grocery store, you think about what you spend for gasoline and all of that stuff. But there is a large part, and I believe the greater part of the economy is not associated with money at all. We don't know how to associate it with money. So, for example, if you have a child and you see that child is sick, and you feel there's no money there, or if you see your child jumping in ecstasy and you are elated as well, there's no money there. And yet those are incredibly important things. You get up and you have a really good day, there's no money there. A bad day? You enjoy the sunshine? You're really getting tired of the freezing cold and fog? Yeah. My house, it's terrible. There's no money there. And yet those are the most important parts of determining what our quality of life is, what our well-being is. And that's why we have economy, is to improve our well-being, to improve our quality of life. Up until now, we have generated an improvement in quality of life and an improvement in well-being through nature by killing it. We kill nature, we sell the carcass. We kill the tree, we sell the carcass. That's what a log truck is, a bunch of carcasses from nature. We kill the salmon, we sell it in the market. Right now, we are killing the climate. Right? So it's not an individual part of nature, it is all of nature right now. So that some people can make money for that part of the economy. What can water protection do to us? This is looking back into the old economy, and one of the things it can do is it can save us money. The words of the day are, it can improve affordability of our lifestyle here in Lane County. How can it do that? It can do that by nature can help us deal with these things. Droughts, erosion, water purification, wetlands, and green areas in our cities. It can do it and save us money. Here are some numbers. They don't come from Lane County, they don't come from Oregon, but you don't really need to know the numbers, you need to know that there are numbers, and we could develop numbers for Lane County if we want to. But research in Kentucky very recently said, if we let nature store water up in the watershed, deliver it so that we can get through the drought, at least a short drought, we don't have to build a dam to hold the water up in the watershed. And that will save us about 2 cents per cubic meter of water. That's a lot of money. That's why we have dams all around the Willamette Basin. And they've done that work for us for a long time. Just exactly that. The same thing is for floods. Okay? They can slow the water down when we have very heavy rainfall. And oh, by the way, we are going to have more heavy rainfall. We are going to have more droughts because that's what this warming is doing to us. Same thing for droughts and for floods. Can control erosion. If we have wetlands up in the watershed, if we have healthy forests, they slow the heavy rainfall so it doesn't scour all the dirt down into our rivers. If you ever want to know, you go out and look at some of the streams exactly right below a clear cut in the winter. Look at the water. It's muddy as heck because you don't have that forest controlling the erosion. But if we can let nature do that, we don't have to spend the money. And then the U.S. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, before the current administration, has estimated what are the benefits of these things called ecosystem services. So I want to focus on that term for a while. GDP, gross domestic product. That's how we measure the economy. How big is it? How fast does it grow? GDP per capita. GDP is the cash value of human-produced goods and services sold in the market. Human-produced goods and services. Well, nature produces goods and services for us all the time. Nature produces some really good water coming down the Mackenzie River that we all drink here. Nature does that for us. Yeah, we get involved. Humans do get involved in some of it. But I'll tell you, if the Mackenzie River didn't do that, we'd spend an awful lot more money. Well, FEMA has estimated what is the value of all of the ecosystem services we get from a wetland, not on the coast, an inland wetland. And it's over $8,000 per acre per year. For a green urban open space, it's $15,000. And if you want to think about that, think about going down along the river trail. Nice, rivers there, lots of trees, it's cool in the summertime. If we didn't have that, this would be a much less nice place to live. So nature does things for us, saves us money, improves our affordability. One of the things that's coming up right now is that the projection was that each little increment of carbon dioxide would contribute to warming, one-on-one. But right now we're seeing that carbon dioxide goes up, temperature goes up exponentially. It's accelerating right through the roof. As it does that, extreme events are going to accelerate right through the roof. All of these bad things are going to accelerate right through the roof, and that's why we are looking at catastrophe, on the brink of catastrophe. Part of what this means is that the water crisis is now. I hate to use these words, but these are the words that the scientists say. And we're going to come back to that. You make sure I come back to that. The red part says more than half of the world's food production will be at risk of failure in the next 25 years. Yes, that's global. But don't think that here in Lane County, hey, we've got rain. Who cares what happens in, Ouagadougou? Because what happens in Ouagadougou affects the global market for food, affects the global market for health, affects the global market for military, and it costs us money. So we are no longer isolated. The food market, the food industry is totally global. We will pay for this. So one of the things that happens is that if we can start to control this here, get more local control, then maybe we can push back a little bit. We can't avoid it entirely, but maybe we can reduce some of that cost a little bit. By the way, this comes from the Global Commission on the Economics of Water. This isn't Ernie Niemi just made this up. Okay, second thing. Water protection can provide us with really important things. And I use important. I don't use value. I don't use high price. I mean important. So this is some audience participation. What are some important things you get from water here in Lane County?
Irrigation.
You get it for irrigation to grow crops or to have a really nice lawn, pretty house. Anything else? Recreation. Is that a big thing or a little thing? Sorry, is it a big thing or a little thing? Big thing. Good. Going to come back to that. Good answer. Okay. Anything else?
Fire protection.
Fire protection. We are actually learning now that if we have really strong wetlands, they can stop a fire in its tracks. Not every time, but more than if it's absolutely dry, if that wetland is just total toast. This is from something that is a parallel organization to the IPCC, the Climate Change Organization. This is for biodiversity and ecosystem services, and their statement is, both nature and nature's contributions to people, that's another way of saying ecosystem services, they are vital for human existence, our very existence, and for a good quality of life. Does water contribute to your quality of life here? I'm using a really powerful word here. Theft. Corporations steal things from us. So here's a little bit of background. We have nature, gives us ecosystem services that give us important things and support our quality of life. What are some of those things? They give us water, cooling. Where do you go on a really, really hot day? You go out under the trees. There's evidence that if you have trees, quite a few trees, as the wind blows through that cold air, it can carry and cool as far as half a mile away. Fire protection, we had that. Health and nutrition. There's increasing evidence that especially for older people, get outside and walk in nature every day. That improves your physical health and your mental health. Not trivial things. Cultural identity. Jobs, recreation, and there's a lot more.